Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sound of the State podcast. I'm State Senator Doris Turner, representing the 48th District. And joining me today is the Department of Agriculture Director, Costello. I am so excited to be here with you today.
Senator Turner, you're well aware you're one of my favorite people. I was a state representative for 9 years, chaired ag in the House for 5.5 of those 9 years. And what we've been able to do working together for the betterment of agriculture, I appreciate you. Happy to be here with you.
Well, I am excited. I appreciate you as well. You bring a real clarity, knowledge, and a real passion for agriculture, and it shows in everything that you have been able to do. And we've done some phenomenal things together. So we're getting ready for the Illinois State Fair, one of my most favorite things. I grew up on the north end of Springfield, so that was one of the things that I really look forward to. State Fair Parade coming up, all of the excitement to really kick off things.
So this is my fifth fair, and if we look at 2019, we were at 508,000 attendees. Last year, we were at 773,000 attendees. Just has grown leaps and bounds. Thanks in large part to a lot of your support. And to your point, the ribbon cutting, the parade, it really is a culmination of a year of hard work, because the work starts probably 2 weeks after the fair's over for the next fair. And boy, when we hit that parade for the next 11 days, there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement.
So the grounds look phenomenal. That was one of the big things that's happened since you've been the director. So talk a little bit about what's happened out at the fairgrounds.
Sure, and thank you for your, especially the financial support there. The Pritzker administration, working with the legislature, has been able to put about $86 million into the Illinois State Fairgrounds in Springfield under the Capital Bill. Now, outside of that, our buildings and grounds crew, through our own budget, we've put another probably $55 million into the fairgrounds. So about $130 million invested into the grounds. The Coliseum, which is the crown jewel of the fairgrounds, about $30 million in that renovation. The multiple purpose arena, about $8.6 million. Probably approaching close to $14 million in road resurfacing, sidewalks, like $10 million in roof repairs. Just so much. There were years of deferred maintenance, as you know, and so much wasn't done. And not to be partisan in any way, but under the previous administration, there were years without a budget. And so many of those buildings went without any work. And having the fiscal ability to, put those new roofs on, repave those roads, it's transformed the fairgrounds in a way probably that hasn't been done in 100 years.
No, you're absolutely right. And, as a kid, I remember when I would go to the fair, the only thing I would think about is the rides, the giant slide, those kinds of things. But really, the State Fair is an agricultural showcase. And because our state is, agriculture is our thing. So, and we see all of the young people going around, the FFA got kids and the 4-H kids. I actually spend a lot of time in the FFA barn with the animals. So, what do you think, how does that fit in with our youth and the livestock shows and those kinds of things? Because there's so much more on the grounds than just the Midway.
So you're keying in on probably my favorite part of this job, and that is youth and agriculture. And honestly, kudos to you and all the help you've given us to fund youth and agriculture. Some examples of that, the FFA monies that you were able to work on to get into the budget, $550,000. We're on our third year of that. In about 2.5 years, we've gone from 23,000 FFA members to over 43,000 FFA members in the state of Illinois.
That's amazing.
It's huge. Another thing that you were able to do is make sure that 4-H hours count for an excused absence in schools. A lot of people don't realize 4-H is something that's done 12 months out of the year. It's not 9 months like the regular school year. So those kids are constantly working, they take a ton of time off, and the teachers have to take a ton of time off and work. So, our youth in agriculture has grown so much in this state because of investing back in them. What we've seen, and I think what you're referring to, we've seen a huge jump in participation as far as exhibitors at the fairgrounds. Our sheep numbers, our goat numbers, those are really up. Even honestly, things like, rabbits have done pretty well. Our steer numbers, so the cattle and swine, they've done well. Also, just, having that next generation involved in the number one industry in the state of Illinois acts like a $26.4 billion economic impact on this state. 5 years ago, when I came into this position, it was just over $17 billion. Wow. So it's grown tremendously in the last 5 years.
I know that's what I tell everyone, that they look at Springfield as being the state capital, but it really is kind of an oasis surrounded by farmland. I had a great opportunity to meet with the leadership of FFA. Those kids were here yesterday. I think it was probably about 30 of them. And it was just looking at that group. It was such a diverse group. There were a lot of young girls that were in the group. There were a couple of African American kids that were in the group, and just to see the leadership of that organization and their vision for the state and agriculture, it was really phenomenal.
So to that point, the minority participation in agriculture, the monies that have come in to help maybe some of those kids that couldn't have afforded to participate before, it's been a big growth. And well, I'm doing this off the top of my head, but last year the 4-H numbers were up. It's either 11 or 13%. Over a third of those were minority participation. So, just giving kids a hand up, it's huge. And that's going to translate decades down the road into new opportunities in agriculture, and will only, in my opinion, help us to exceed even where we're at today.
I think you're absolutely right. And keep in mind, the youth that were here, that was the leadership. So those kids are like section leaders. The state president was here, and that group. But then there were also all the section presidents were here. So it was really nice to see that demographic. And I don't want to throw any shade, but the state president is a woman.
Well, as we're all aware, and it's an incredible time in the Capitol when we have 2 African American women chairing House Ag and House Senate, or Senate Ag. You and Representative Harper work so well together. The opportunities, the diversity, it's just been great to see the leaps and bounds of strides that have been made in the last 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I'm really excited about when we talk about ag and the way that it's changing is that we have the opportunity working with the youth. And that's one thing that I absolutely love, working with the kids. Working with the youth is that you see the diversity in the employment opportunities for it's not just, farming and digging and planting. There's all kinds of opportunities. So we get to explore that with our young people and encourage them to, follow their dream of what they want to do, but see how that plays into them coming back on that family farm.
No doubt about it. And there are so many opportunities in agriculture that people don't stop and think about. The technology aspect of agriculture has changed so much. I'm 56 and I have a hard time resetting my phone when I get an update. I have to hand it to one of my kids. Nowadays with drones and the GPS technology and combines and tractors and planters and fertilizer, there are so many opportunities for kids because people who are a little bit older, the average age of a farmer in the state of Illinois is about 58 and a half. When I came into this position 5 years ago, it was about 56. So, farmers are, for the most part, getting older. Bringing that next generation in who can harness and use that technology is so, so important.
I think you're absolutely right. I had the opportunity to visit the Borgic pig farms.
Sure.
And I was like, oh my God, just the technology. I'm like you. I don't mess around with that at all. I got people for that. I got grandkids for that. But you're right. We are definitely, technology has taken over, just about everything, and we're in that space. But I'm excited to see the ag community and the ag space growing with that technology and not be left behind.
So Phil Borgic, I think, is who you're referring to. It's a great example of a lot of changes that have taken place in the changes in technology that have really helped to increase agricultural production. So it's a tremendous example of someone who's been in business for decades, and they are really taking things to a new level.
Absolutely. So we can't talk about agriculture without talking about the Illinois State Fair, and we've done that. We can't talk about agriculture without talking about our youth, and we've done that. But we also have to spend just a little bit of time talking about our last legislative session, and a few of the things that we were able to accomplish. I think a lot, and do some really meaningful things. A couple of things that were left behind, but what's kind of your take on where we were with the last session?
So I will tell you, just in general, probably my largest take, and again, being in this position 5.5 years, is from a budgetary aspect, the priority that's been put on agriculture by the Pritzker administration and by the legislature, large part under your leadership as chair of Senate Ag. My biggest takeaway from the legislative session, and to your point, there's been good, bad, ups and downs, but the overall investment by the state into agriculture, whether you want to talk about the fairgrounds, if you want to talk about education, youth in agriculture, and honestly, industry in general, it's been fabulous. 5.5 years ago, when I came into this position, we had 299 employees at the Department of Agriculture. We're at, I believe the last count was 445.
Wow.
So 449 would represent a 50% increase in 5 years under the Pritzker administration. That's the type of priority that is being put on agriculture, our state's number one industry. And I can't thank you and Governor Pritzker enough for the fact that you all recognize and keep investing in agriculture to move us forward.
Yeah, agriculture is the engine that drives our state, and I really have been able to see that when I actually started my political career. I was on the Sangamon County Board and represented a hybrid district, part in the city, part in the county, and that's when I really got a real feel for understanding how important ag is to the state, because I saw how important it was to Sangamon County. And so it is, the honor of my life to be able to chair the Senate Agriculture Committee and work alongside Representative Harper and you and the Pritzker administration to continue to move our state forward. And, it's not just a leader. We're not just a leader here in the United States. We're a worldwide leader when it comes to ag. So congratulations on the phenomenal job that you are doing as Director of Ag. Congratulations on being able to cut that ribbon on another phenomenal Illinois State Fair. And I'm ready to get walking and tossing candy.
Well, I can't thank you enough. Being around politics, my father was in politics. My grandfather was in politics. Obviously I have been. There's people that talk and make promises, and there's people that you can judge them by their actions. And thank you for being a person of action. Your sincerity, your passion for agriculture, your district, and the state, it's easy to see in your actions, not just your words.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And look forward to walking the grounds with you.
We will see you soon.
Okay, thanks.